We are talking about DeFi. Let's talk about DeFi. MakerDAO, which is a DeFi pioneer, one of really the OGs of the DeFi space, who showed the world that DeFi lending could happen. Big time Ethereum stalwart. They've been in a staple of that DeFi ecosystem for many a year, and now they're inching towards sort of their multi-chain future, for starting with this StarkNet bridge, which is a layer 2 scaling solution that ideally would make some of the inner workings of the Maker protocol a bit more cheap to execute for more users. So this is interesting because multi-chain crypto has certainly been a big trend in the last maybe year or so as people sort of dabble in other smart contract base layers. And MakerDAO right now is wanting to get in on the action with its first baby steps. Now, this is a phased rollout. There's a couple things here if you read the piece itself, but the big headline, I think, is this is its first step toward that multi-chain future. And it's notable for what remains a big player in the DeFi space. George, I'm going to throw it to you. What do you think about MakerDAO trying to build connections to more blockchains?
Yeah, I grow very weary and skeptical of anything that is cross-bridge, and certainly anything that points to wormhole, which may have actually been aptly named, given it was a wormhole for user funds, as an inspiration, right? And I'll take one out of Vitalik's book here and just warn against cross-bridge implementations. To me, it feels like you can build a house of cards that cannot be easily unwound, sort of like the effective leverage that we see in our legacy financial system that we get from all the sexy things that our friends at Wall Street are building. You start putting things on from one chain to another chain and connect things, you have a house of cards and it could fall over. I guess there's demand for it, so there is a reason to want to do this. But I grow very, very weary and skeptical of this because crypto itself is still not very big, and a very, very big cross-chain, cross-bridge, or whatever it's called, hack or whatever, could actually spell doom for a lot of the people in the space. But I want to hear what Jen has to say if she has anything.
Yeah, so firstly, I don't know if we can get the photo from this article back. It's a screen grab from, I think it's Brady Dale's Explainer video on CoinDesk's YouTube channel. That is my brain sometimes on this show. That's like how I'm connecting the dots. Yeah, like a child. So there it is on the screen. So just building off the back of what you said, George, I mean, MakerDAO is really delivering on their roadmap. And we've seen a lot of these roadmaps in the space be really aggressive. And so this is a phased rollout. And I appreciate at the end of the article, we have engineer Louis Baudouin, I believe it's pronounced. And he talks about the different phases and says that they're looking at how to mitigate risks and that they've learned from the Solana wormhole and the poly hack. And so they are implementing things that should prevent hacks from happen as they move fast and break things. And I just want to see how this plays out, because a lot of these projects are being so public about moving fast and breaking things and creating all of these solutions to real user issues. But with those solutions, I think we find a lot of bugs, and it's those users who end up kind of suffering the downfall. And so I would like to see how this all rolls out. Zach?
Sure, we all want to see how it all rolls out.
We're
Future
just
is
gonna
wild
wait and
and
see.
crazy. Yeah, I think that, by the way, you should definitely check out that video. That illustration by Brady Dale is admittedly some of his finest work. He had the little ether being locked up in the jail, the over-collateralized ether, generating the DAI out of the Maker.
Just like,
protocol,
speaking my language.
Fully explained with drawings and everything. Amazing. Anyway, check it out on the CoinDesk YouTube. But yeah, MakerDAO doing this, I think, is significant because it says, hey, MakerDAO, we're part of the conversation. We know what's going on in the market. We're sort of out there quietly. We are one of the more decentralized protocols that exist in the decentralized world. And we don't make a lot of noise, but in the background, there is DAO governance happening. And DAO governance is saying, hey, we need to get on this multi-chain thing because there is plenty of opportunity on some of these fresher chains. And the fact that they're going with StarkNet, which is out of Starkware, is something that is certainly notable. So interesting one to watch. We'll see if they can really learn from those lessons, as that last quote in the piece lays out, right? If those lessons can be learned from, that is a good thing. We often say that these hacks are just battle testing of the entire DeFi market. Let's hope that that is the case here and that the lesson does get learned.